Hey guys, tonight I'm just so infuriated by a number of things, but the main thing right now is we really need to understand how dangerous it is to continue to spread this message of anti-racism. And I want to be specific. This is the anti-racist message of D'Angelo, Kendi, and Tiffany Joel. I am appalled that we are listening to people who have not produced effective unity through their teaching. And I'm very convinced that, at least for Kendi, the goal, and maybe Tiffany Joel as well, but the goal is to uproot the foundations of the United States and replace it with something, and there is a huge question mark as to what that something is. The message that they come out with is that we have to be discriminatory in order to combat discrimination. I want to make it clear that as someone who skates and goes skateboarding at skate parks, where the stereotype of that white fratty boy that's just like so racist and so gruel and just so uppity in a way, yes, there are people like that who have been in a bubble and they've never had any interactions with people of other races, black people or any queer people or any other person that doesn't fall into the white straight male category. And they don't know how to act. There are some people, they just don't know how to act, and that's out of insecurity. I want to emphasize that in most cases, in my personal experience, people act like that because they're ignorant and they're insecure. And so they look to their race or their sex for some sense of superiority in order to impose that superiority on others. You usually find that more secure people have already had that experience outside of their bubble. They're looking to learn. They're looking to diversify their social circle. But from what I found, and from my experience and from the experience of people who have infiltrated the KKK, and in the experience of Desmond Tutu, who spoke with P.W. Botha, face to face, and also wrote letters and spoke and addressed at the UN, and people like Nelson Mandela, who literally was in prison for 27 years. And then he came out and he showed respect to those who had really, 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 really stifled his efforts to overthrow apartheid. And not just respect, but he forgave them. Let's be clear. And then gave that as an example for so many people to replicate in the nation of South Africa. We have to understand the experiences of people who have actually gone to that dark, chaotic space of racism to understand it and to dismantle it. And the people who have actually done the work come out with a different thesis, which is that you have to show mutual respect. And from me, as someone who is trying to get more black girls into skateboarding, who's trying to get more people who are marginalized into skateboarding, you're not going to break that stereotype coming into that space with hatred. I want to say, for those who really care about stopping racism, or at least about making its effects not as detrimental, you have to go into an atmosphere of racism with the intention to diffuse the hatred. Hatred cannot be diffused with more hatred. Please understand me. I'm speaking from experience, but I'm also drawing from the experience of people who have been at the forefront of the most racist, oppressive regimes, who are not trying to bring about a communist revolution, but who are trying to bring about a unified society. And they say that you have to have your own sense of peace by forgiving, but you also have to show that the other person has a human still left inside of them. They have let their identity become overwhelmed by their superior race or their superior identity, but you can show them that you know that you're a human and whatever they think about you doesn't matter, but you also want them to realize their humanity so that they can snap back to reality and realize that they're someone's son, and realize that you're also someone's daughter or someone's son. And there can be mutual respect. Teaching people to go out and discriminate in order to change discrimination, you're literally just setting the world ablaze for your own profit, for your own dollars. And you know people respond to this appeal to emotion. You know that. And you know that they're gonna wanna share it because it makes them angry. But at the end of the day, we all know anger is never gonna change anything. At the end of the day, we have this deep-seated in our hearts that we need to love and respect one another. And people who are making it seem like love and respect hasn't worked, they are deceiving you. Don't be deceived. I'm not trying to demean anyone, but honestly, if you are still buying into books like This Book is Anti-Racist, or How to Be an Anti-Racist, or White Fragility, come on, guys. Come on. Why don't you learn from actual people, actual Black people who have gone into racist spaces? Find out what they say. Find out what they come out with. Find out why Desmond Tutu decided to write 2 books on forgiveness. You really want to empower Black people? Please stop telling us that we need to be more hateful. Please stop telling us that we need to just look at ourselves as the weakest beings on earth. You know more than anything. Telling someone that they're weak only makes them more stuck in their position. Telling someone that they're just oppressed and that's just a permanent state of flux and tension forever, it's gonna make someone hopeless and give up on any struggle of any sort. And most of you fall for these books like White Fragility because you know that you wrote the N-word on someone's locker when you were in 9th grade. Let's be real. And so that guilt is killing you on the inside, and you think that reading and posting about this white fragility and posting the black square and never being able to let go of that is somehow penance for your guilt? Like, come on. Hopefully you can reconcile with the actual person that you did those bad things to and say you're sorry. Say you're sorry to that person whose life you scarred by doing those racist things. As small as they might have seemed and you might have been young. Don't just go around taunting these stupid books like White Fragility. Apologize to that person who you hurt. And then stop spreading this silly ideology and move on. Hopefully that person can forgive you. Do what you can to repair that relationship. Do what you can to bless that person maybe. Maybe you've changed and now you're like a way better person. You know, we have to stop this. This is not good. You've seen the outcome time and time again. For those of you, and I know who you are, who are trying to revolt and spread communism, come on, man. You've seen the outcome time and time again. 100 million people have died in 100 years. The iterations never work. And what I'm not going to allow is you to use my skin color for your revolution when I didn't sign up for that. So stop it. Like, just don't do that. Okay? We need to empower people. We need to use scientific methods that have shown to diffuse even the leaders of the KKK. If you really want to stop people from becoming really white supremacists, you need to stop with this discrimination nonsense. And some of you have organizations and you just love that money that they're going to give you if you start implementing all that DEI stuff. You need to have a spine, have a backbone and say no. Because you care about humanity, for crying out loud. This is stupid.